Hey, Lifebringers. I hope that your week is shaping up really, really awesome. I know that, and I hope that this season is being marked by more and more hope as we look into the scriptures from Romans 15 that we looked at a couple of weeks ago to Lamentations 3 that we looked at this past weekend and will again this weekend. We can just have such confident expectations of good things from God in this season. I hope that you're leaning in and experiencing that. I know the study and some of the practices have been so helpful for me. I hope they have been for you too. I want to encourage you to be sharing some of your experiences on the Lifebringers Facebook group. I know that this week we talked and sent and texted ourselves lots of stories about how God has shown up with faithfulness, mercy, and love. I just want to invite you to share those on the Facebook group and continue to spur one another on. Remind us that God shows up. He shows up over and over and over. He's exactly who he says he is, and we can have a confident expectation of good because he's always good. He's always faithful, loving, merciful, all the things that we've been talking about. Let us in on your stories. Share those stories there, and more importantly, be sharing them with your family, friends, neighbors. I hope that you've been praying for opportunities to see the chances to be able to share those stories with other people, just to point and lift up God in the way that he shows up in our lives and how faithful he is, how worthy of our hope he is. So I'm praying for you. Be praying for opportunities. Scroll back through those texts and just pray for opportunities to share. In fact, that's what we're going to talk about just briefly today. As we navigate this Christmas season, how do we just practically live out multiplication in this season? 3 quick words to try to shape that up. One is show up. One is invite, and the third one is follow up, right? So a lot of times we think that invite is all that we do as followers of Jesus to help people follow Jesus, and that's not true at all. With Faces and Places, with the Love Your Neighbor series, we talked about how important it is to show up in the lives of people. And Christmas provides such a great opportunity to deliver Christmas cards, to deliver cookies, to be present in our neighborhoods. Even though it's definitely getting a little bit colder, still lots of chance to be out in neighborhoods and engaging with people around. I know God has dropped some really providential conversations right in our laps in our neighborhood as we've been out in our front yard, watching the kids play and doing other things, just engaging neighbors who are out. It's been so good. The more we show up and are present and available to people, the more opportunities we'll see to be sharing the stories of what God's up to in our lives. And the opportunity to invite, which is the second word, to invite people along. Christmas obviously is a great opportunity for that. Tons of people are open to hearing about Jesus and the gospel story of God at Christmas than ever. And so certainly we want to invite people into that. Some key resources for us here at Canyon Ridge are several things. We've got 8 in-person services that can be registered for with lots of space for people to socially distance and still have a phenomenal experience, encounter God together. It'd be really, really great. For those not comfortable or those not available, we've got online services that'll be on demand, to be available on demand from 5 p.m. on the 23rd. Our team has worked so hard. It's going to be so sharp and shareable. Ways to invite people in, just send them to our website, to our Facebook. You're going to find that resource there, of course, on YouTube as well. Would love for you to invite people to check that out. It's maybe a simpler next step for people to hear a gospel message about hope and to hear some really great music and other things. So invite them into that. Lots of ways on our website and social media as well to screen capture and share those things with other people, resources along the way, and videos that you'll be able to share with folks. And so lots of ways to just build some bridges for the people you're showing up to make an invitation. But we don't just stop at invitation. If we do, we settle for addition, and that's not the worst thing, but multiplication is better. You have built trust by showing up in people's lives and by making an invitation that they were able to say yes to. And so one of the most important things we can do is follow up with people. Whether we share a video with them online, have a great conversation with them, or like my friend who's been experiencing the habit of doing Jesus calling every morning and then passing that on to some others. So important to follow up, to see how that's going, to encourage, to normalize some of the experience for people, to see what God might be saying or what he might be up to see what a next step is. And so there it is, show up, invite, and follow up. Follow up is so key, and one of the beautiful things about Christmas break is it's a great time to do that, to shoot a text, to shoot a message, to make a call, to stop by, all of those things. So I'm just praying and hopeful for the relationships that you have in your life as you're helping people step in the direction of Jesus. I hope that our church and the resources that are here are helpful. I hope that gatherings and online services are helpful. But most of all, I hope your relationships and the way that you're sharing your faith and the way that God is showing up in your life and how God can show up in their lives. I'm just praying that has the greatest of traction. I'm praying it's challenging. I'm praying it's risky. And I'm praying that it's really, really fruitful. As you experience joy and peace as we place our hope in God and as we take risks in obeying and engaging other people to point them in Jesus' direction this holiday season. Can't wait to see you on a weekend here, online, or at Christmas services. We'll see you soon.